Hello, my audience. I'm doing a movie review on this Marvel movie called Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi. Shit, I can't say his name right. And the Legend of the Ten Rings. I can say the last part of the term, that's not his name right. And Shang-Chi is like, well, Shang-Chi. It's like a hard name to say. And I give this movie a 8 out of 10. That's 2 points above mediocre. Score that I give. I give it an 8 out of 10. And sure, I can't announce the guy's name right, but that's not my fault. It's a bit of a tongue twister of a name. Most, I guess, people that talk about on the internet said that this is some of the. Oh, I guess a lot of people that have talked about this on the internet, at least the videos I come across, a lot of people say that this is one of Marvel's better movies in their new lineup. Honestly, I think it's one of the weaker ones in the new lineup because Shang-Chi, the character, just doesn't give me any hype for a sequel with him. I mean, he was fine. I mean, played by a what seems like a talented, competent actor. Of course, the all cast. That's the thing about Marvel Studios. All the cast seems like the competent people that know how to act. But there's only so much competent actors can do with a half-baked script, and this script felt half-baked of a story that made little to no sense, rhyme, and reason. But man, we got some cool action shots. The problem is the main character. Big problem of this Achilles heel the movie is the big Achilles heel is the main character. For me, I don't see this this character is worth making a trilogy around this character. I mean, yeah, sure, he probably could handle himself fine, but do better just if he was just in the crossover stories and not actually have his own standalone movies ever, like Hawkeye for a while you did with. But because to me, he has less a memorable presence than Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. He's more forgettable than Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. How sad is that? There's nothing against Jeremy Renner. He's like a great actor for what is given with this character. It's given what he's given. He's great for what he's gone with, but what he's given was is absolutely forgettable garbage. Outside of the cool action the story that he gives Hawkeye is just like it's forgettable. And it was kind of stupid bringing him the Ronin costume, wanting to make him Hawkeye again. This was the Mohawk. It was kind of stupid how they went that route in Endgame. And it's even more stupid how they pussy out of making him the Rodin and reversing him to Hawkeye and getting him. I know how Hawkeye season 1 ends. He disposes of the Rodin costume and burns it, I guess. So It just feels like they made him one hero that got turned into a bigger hero that's known for being a bigger hero than Hawkeye, is what Ronan is in the comics, basically being a more status quo hero. Uh, I hear now I will. No matter I haven't read anything or looked at any collecting comics with Hawkeye taking on the Ronin mantle. I just heard that Hawkeye was going to become Ronin in Endgame because of this article that my dad read to me, and then I found out who Ronin was. That was Hawkeye, and in the comics, he's like this big version of a hero, and I thought it was kind of strange how they kind of tiptoe their way into making him Hawkeye again, and kind of give up trying something that early on different, but then quit with the Hulk. Trying something different with the Hulk that clearly is not working with fans, that they continue to do with the events of She-Hulk, was last time we saw him, Hulk, in the MCU. And last time he made an appearance. And that was a She-Hulk show, and that nobody really saw that show, and then or liked that show. I only saw one episode. That was the one with Daredevil, but I only liked it. I want to see it because I only saw that because it was Charlie Cox, Daredevil. I want to see him in a different costume with some cool action here and there. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but I was kind of surprised wrong. Out of the one episode, the Charlie Cox episode, her was Daredevil. That episode was bad, her She-Hulk during her law. A surprise. How bad it was. Shit, what was I supposed to be talking about? Oh yes, Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi is kind of a forgettable movie. Like She-Hulk is of a show. She-Hulk's worse than Shang-Chi, I think. But Shang-Chi is close to being as bad as She-Hulk, in second place for me. To me, I was surprised how I did not give a damn about Shang at all, really, compared to the villain of the film, the father that got killed off and sacrificed himself for the love of his son, who was kind of a bit of an abusive shithead as a kid, to his son as a kid. But complicated story. So he actually, in a way, had a nice, slow, compelling redemption arc for a character that got killed off later on in the movie. At the end, pretty quickly, when the real beast is unleashed of the movie, the real threat of the movie that gets freed by Shang's father, the Mandarin, also known as the Ten Rings, the Mandarin's not a real character in the MCU. Thanks to the events of this movie, it's just a tall tale made up by the media instead of a real recurring character from Marvel Comics. They turn it into a tall tale story told by the media. So they changed the whole thing, what the Mandarin means and what the Mandarin is, so he doesn't exist. Isn't that wonderful? I am his most popular villain before Robert Downey urinated all over one of my favorite heroes. With all 3 installments. Thank you for fucking that up, Downey, and starring in that. Oh my god, Iron Man 3. I remember how hyped I was for Iron Man 3, but how let down I was that the Mandarin wasn't in the movie, and they didn't bother putting a Mandarin in the movie. Just say, okay, this guy's an actor. He's going to play this character called the Mandarin on live television in the events of Iron Man 3, while the man behind the curtain gets away scot-free, but murdered by Gwyneth Paltrow instead of Iron Man. That's stupid. how it ended, I thought. And wrapped up in a pretty bow. With Iron Man getting a new heart and getting his art reactor pulled out from him and getting a new heart and him getting his happy ending and a healthy heart. Now he's perfect in his life. Oh, I hate him now. More than ever. I'm glad he died in Endgame and killed himself. Thank God for the Russo brothers for doing that for us. Killing off Robert Downey Jr. was the best decision they made in making me like that guy. The MCU version of Iron Man. Not the comic book version. The comic version I like him much more. The comic version of Iron Man. And the cartoons versions of Iron Man, there are some cool ones there too. But yeah, I hated Robert Downey's Iron Man, pretty much everything about him. When he dons the Iron Man mantle since day one. I hated how he half-cocked it and was rewarded for half-cocking a performance when we shung George Clooney for half-cocking a performance when he donned the cowl with Batman in 1997. Because that was the same level of suck as Robert Downey's Iron Man performance. But hey, he got a career. George Clooney almost ended his career, pretty much, thanks to Batman and Robin. For a while, he did. And then he made more movies, and people thought he was going to end his career, but no, it almost did. Didn't quite, though. But it wasn't his best movie. It was one of his worst. Definitely. So was Iron Man with Robert Downey. Shit, I talking about Shang-Chi. I give it an 8 out of 10 for comparing it to the mediocre run of Iron Man. I think it's worse than Iron Man. Especially with his visuals. CGI. That's the weakest part. Easily ruins the movie for me. But what one man's garbage is another man's yabba dabba do, I guess. Whoever thought that this CGI was good, it must be tripping on something. And that's my review on Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. Why I give it 8 out of 10 for pretty forgettable, mediocre mess. But on the bright side, it's part of a bigger universe that's Earth 616 universe before Marvel's going to reboot it, I hear, which thank God. And maybe they'll dial it back with the jokes in the reboot. The cheap jokes. Maybe the jokes will be, if they want to go jokes, they gotta make better jokes. Because their jokes were, oh shit. I'm tired of their jokes. I hated their jokes since 2012 when it ran its course with the first Avengers movie. When they made every Avenger a parody of themselves. And beyond that, for each installment after that, it became a problem. Since 2012, it became a problem. Thanks, Whedon, for doing that. And I just feel like Gunn made it worse. And they oh my god. Now it's like at these days, down to 11. To the obnoxious level. It's like, it used to be obnoxious, now it's just tiring and draining. With the jokes. Like, you know how it used to be obnoxious Now it's like, at least in Shang-Chi movie, it's very, very draining, a lot of the jokes. And there are a lot of them, minute after minute. Not all of them hit home run for me. A lot of them felt like stale garbage jokes. Felt like half-baked jokes. Now I'm going to talk about a different Marvel movie called Eternals. I give it an 8 out of 10 for 2 points above average. Above mediocre it is by 2 points. This movie was a surprise. It had the bare minimum amount of jokes and had the bare minimum amount of epic action scales happening of comic book shit. You would want to see, like, action, you know? Like, I think the Internals was very incompetent, made writing, and it was like it just felt like one of those movies that like had to fool you into thinking it's not a mess. You can't miss it. The mess. It's like it's one of those movies that doesn't trick you into forgetting that it's a mess, like Marvel's earlier works did. But that's the problem with the Internals and Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings movies, both by Earth 616 Marvel Sacred Timeline, take place in. And I get it, the Internals are supposed to be all gods, but and created by Celestials in the mythology of the movie, they're not really alive. They are created by Celestials, but is this like, and they have like rules why they can't do things on Earth and intervene? But it's like, once they showed that they're intervening with their powers by saving kids from an earthquake early on in the film, instead of just letting something shatter and crush the kids, they're kind of breaking their hypocrisy rules. That feels more like a Hippocratic oath in the content of the movie, how they treat it, because they're constantly using the powers to help benefit, to help people or with human race. And it's just like, okay, very inconsistent with what it wants to show us and have us think. Oh, also, I didn't believe anybody actually gave a hoot or know anyone. I had trouble believing into my suspension of disbelief. Was this the bond between the Internals and the Celestial and the history with them? But despite them played by actors who have been in better stuff, all of them. I'm just saying they've all been better stuff than this, okay? The people with, I'm just guessing, this is the ones I've seen them in. I can't let name all of them, but they got Angelina Jolie, she's been in better stuff. And they also, I forget all the actors' names there, names of the act cast, okay? Fuck. Anyway, the point is, This movie could have had a potential to be at least a dumb, fun movie if it leaned into its strengths and what the movie was about. And really kind of knew what its mythology was with its world building. But it doesn't seem to know any of that. Very inconsistent with the world building, you know? Because we're showing the Internals helping humans when they said they can't help humans, and they won't break the rule, one blah, 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 blah. Later on in the movie, to help humans to stop the Celeste from killing everyone on Earth, blah, blah, blah. And they get taken by the judge of the Celestials, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god. And it's very, very, very quickly explained when the movie's wrapping up in a post-credit scene. With the Internals versus the judge of the Celestials and having the Internals on trial, basically. How is this going to play into the MCU? Probably we won't know until they're ready to kill off with the reboot. Maybe it's going to the Celestial are going to make one of the Celestial are going to make an appearance, or all the Celestials going to make an appearance with and try to I don't know, destroy the Earth, and maybe when that maybe it'll reboot itself. I don't know what the heck's going to happen. I'm just guessing. So, excuse me. That's why I give Eternals a 8 out of 10, and so Shang-Chi gets an 8 out of 10. Goodbye. Subscribe, my audience, and hit the like button. Feel free to comment below which movie you like better, or if you don't care. Don't feel like subscribing, you don't have to. But please subscribe and like this video. But you can like this, you can like a comment, feel free if you want to or not. I don't really mind, but subscribe and like this video, please. And bye till my next video, my audience.